Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Afdivan I'm from Group B. I'm going to present audiovisual translation with my friend Dhafi, Ghibran, Hana, Mugie, and Talenta. Okay, next slide. Okay, introduction. This chapter has been designed to offer a comprehensive discussion of audiovisual translator or AVT by focusing in particular on the issues and challenge that this many mode pose along with the advantage they offer. In 1989, Della Bastita described AVT as a virgin area of research. AVT has also suffered from some terminological confusion. For example, Luiken earlier suggested the term language transfers, whereas other scholars such as Hayes and Ulrich prefer to use multimedia translation as an umbrella term to describe the translation of all those texts created through a multi-semiotic channel by the films, TV programs, or plays for the theater. After an extensive discussion of the state of the art, Gambier offered the terms screen transadaptation as opposed to language transfer, since the latter does not seem to take into account the extra linguistic element this translation practice involve, picture, sounds. In addition, in Gambier's opinion, multimedia translation often includes not only theater but also computer games, web page, and so on, without distinguishing between the media and codes used. However, considering that nowadays AVT seems to be the most commonly applied term.
Okay, next thing is reasons and rationale. Chaume highlights the evolution of audiovisual translation, noting its progression from silent films with intertitle to today advanced productions. Since the advent of movies in 1895, films were films were once a universal language, but sound made translation difficult for non-language speakers. Subtitles were used, but dubbing became common in Italy, Germany, Spain, and France due to high literacy rates and political propaganda. And in Scandinavia, they prefer subtitling. Eastern Europe used voice-over. Hollywood's dominance of use over 80,000 US films import to Europe by 2011. Few European exports. Streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon have revolutionized content consumption by providing a diverse range of US and local shows, boosting European production. Viewers know viewers now prefer subtitle for a more authentic experience and to improve language proficiency. The shift is from creating content for audience to creating it with them.
The next is theoretical consideration of AVT. In the last 3 to 4 decades, an increasing number of scholars have concentrated on a variety of advantages and constraints concerning mainly subtitling and dubbing. Some scholars have considered the possibility of manipulating the visual text or the picture of audiovisual products by be they TV programs or documentaries. That said, these types of cinematographic productions often have an important artistic value, like paintings or sculptures, and there is a good deal of resistance regarding any sort of reformulation. However, there are some exceptions. For example, when dealing with Japanese anime, drawing on Norns 2007 and Ruh 2010, Perez Gonzalez 2014 explains that the practice of manipulating this type of audiovisual material dates back to back to the 80s. Japanese anime were adapted to the US content via adaptive dubbing, which implied a significant reworking of both the visual and verbal text. This practice resulted in products that differ substantially from the originals. Chom 2019.
What's next? Visual audiovisual education. With AI profits and emphasis on the elements of APT. Charms, television channels that produce APT weekly networks area, revolution and subtitling. For its journalists having a top category assistant form of APT. Total product and video for speaking and video description. For Stanley, all about the work relation between two mechanisms of APT as Second is the display of our presenter and simplicity, refreshing and captioning, which will support the following section will include summarizing purpose and discussion of the purpose and the habit of its work. To revolution. Revolution, in fact, in much of ABT will include recording and musical and news and docs and subsequent synchronization. So to conclude, summarize this method work, with detailed description of each word and subtype is beyond the scope of researcher and consists of information is rather for clarity. Due to its water and lots of use, Wading will be described without the later successful. All of this demonstration condition of some people of this step below. Because in also for before the below is the from summary of first representations. But the processing and achieving this with post production. As a fact, the team both the original and translated soundtrack simultaneously. Uh, was practical. Was a hybrid of voice actor and new voices are also to Malaysian. The field of translation, a summary of the source text developed in Russia, single for study. Simultaneously, interpretation of film. On the spot, single first interpretation of the film is today. Meskipun during film festival in purpose popular literature translation. On the spot translation of the script or subtitles while the film is being screened. Through commentary. Version including comments, summaries, and opinions about the USD. Double translation. Audience critic refer one pressure of four therefore notion. Mostly for parody. Fan subbing or fan dubbing. Or made amateur dubbing of TV series, cartoon, and controllers. Audio description. Description of the action scene. Audio or subtitle. People subtitle that becomes moving first. Tutorial professional. Positioning in context or equity mods for film or translation, interview judgment or transcription, or the transfer or the text. A setup or needs to listen or the original sound to the symptom. New colors collaboration of fictional as a macro of EDP. It's set to continue will be separately written target text issue of the local history, set Open TP honestly about research speaking first the text process and including separate for debate and activity and ideas of including special features such as dynamic outcomes and sound effects to increase accessibility. Wasabi concept or shabi amateur recovery.
AVT in Italy. In Italy, but also in Germany and Spain, the choice of dubbing was originally the result of the nationalistic regime that ruled the country during the early decades of the 20th century. Ranzato explains that before the fascist regime came to power, US or Hollywood corporate businesses such as Fox and MGM had found a forcing market in Italy due to the fact that after World War One, the Italian film industry had lost much of its infrastructure and market. So in 1930, Mussolini wrote that dubbing was to become the translation mode for all imported productions in Italy. And nowadays, the Italian audience is so accustomed to dubbing that it has also become their preferred option. Also, the Italian Association of Dubbers and Adapters for Cinema and Television has been working hard to make sure that the quality of dubbing in Italy is respected to high standards. This association also ensured that the adapters' rights are protected by law, which considers them as much as the writers of the original screenplay. Adapters can claim 50 hundred of the cost of the dubbed version if asked to create subtitles based on their dubbed version. Alternatively, she or he can claim 25% of the cost if the subtitles are done by someone else. Subtitlers do not enjoy similar benefits. Unfortunately, though, by emphasizing the role of dubbing actors and adapters, AI DAC or Association Italian Doppiatori Auditory Cinetelevisi sometimes overlooks the role of translator, who seem to exist only as making a marginal contribution to the whole dubbing process. So here we can see the table percentage of audience market share in the Italian cinema market from 202 until 2012 or 212. Over the period, Italia managed to sell its over the period 200 uh, 2006 until 2012, Italy managed to sell its home production abroad, obtaining total sales for almost 45 million euro. However, only an average of 28,000 euro was earned per film released. Whole US films while US films obtain more than 50% of the Italian audience over the above 6 year period. This trend remains constant across Europe and over time. Also, streaming platforms nowadays offer dub subtitles and AD versions and so on, but there's of research in reception studies and customer trends makes it difficult to really offer an exhaustive picture of viewing habits, not only in Italy but across Europe also. Dubbing is virtually the only solution used in mainstream Italian TV, as confirmed by Antonini's analysis. Out of a total 363.5 hours of dub and subtitle program is broadcast every week, only 17.5 hours, while 346 are dubbed. Subtitling is used as an alternative to dubbing if the imported material doesn't justify the dubbing or voice-over costs. In collaboration with the Italian Society of Authors and Publishers, AIDAC has recently commissioned a large survey of the working conditions of all the professionals who work in the audiovisual industry. But the results have not yet been published and are therefore unavailable. Pavesi and Perego have interviewed the 10 most active adapters who confirm that although being very proficient in Italian, they don't necessarily hold a degree in translation or related fields. Moreover, they work from home and rarely have the possibility to share their experience and difficulties with other colleges. However, that things might well have changed over the last 10 years thanks to social networks and media, which help many professionals to make contact via groups and chats.
All right, and then the ability of humor. Humor is a multifaceted phenomenon that may be conveyed in many ways via irony, satire, wordplay, sarcasm, and many scholars in in humor studies have devoted their careers to exploring one or many of these humor types. It's according to Attardo to 2017, sorry. And then the main challenges. The first one is language and culture bound forms of humor. Second one's verbal and non-verbal texts are used simultaneously to create it. Third, the difficulties in transferring different types of wordplay. And fourth, the translator individual constraints. It's included time pressure, translator experience, and creativity. And then the last one, a precise synchronization of the visual and subtitle text in order to ensure the audience reaction. Next. All right, and then priorities and strategies in the avidity of humor. According to Zabel Biesco's paper, the concept of priority is both original and pivotal in the translation of comedies and humorous texts in general. So, by looking at the dubbing of television programs, Zabel Biesco identifies the following mindset of priority, such as A, guaranteeing good popular ratings, B, eliciting louder, and then ensuring there is adequate linguistic and textual structure for the medium. It's according to IBIT 245. Having established these priorities, translators should be free to create a target text which returns the original purpose of the source text. All right, and then here are some of the types of jokes in dubbing. Summary of Zebel Bescoas. Types of jokes in dubbing. So there is for one type of joke is internet first is international or binational jokes. The explanation is they do not rely on any language or culture specific feature, or they only rely on features and target language and cultures. And here's the examples. And then the second one is national culture and institution jokes. For the explanation, they rely on the target audience, familiarity with social institution, history, and current affairs. For example, items of popular culture, general knowledge of a country or community. And then the third is national sense of humor jokes. So the explanation is they depend on a community's specific tolerance and taste for what is funny or unfunny. According to social acceptance, for example, self-deprecating humor, both individually and collectively, satire, sarcasm, parody, and etc. They include taboo, how is it dealt with in each community, source, and target culture. And next. And then there are the next one is language dependent jokes. For explanation, they exploit the specific features of the source language. For example, it's a wordplay. And then the fifth is visual jokes. So they might be only visual or combine visual and verbal elements. And then the last one is complex jokes. So they can incorporate two or more of the aforementioned type of joke. For example, language and cultural reference such as allusive wordplays. The strategy used may depend on the translator's set of priorities and the function of text. Okay, next. So the avidity of humor. So to conclude, The process of humor translation and the avidity of humor seem to depend on the unique characteristic of each individual case, and its analysis should always take into account that specific factors involved in each and in every particular process. However, I believe that translator should regard the transfer of the potential humor or of film or TV comedies as a fundamental priority that is likely to guarantee this program's success. Furthermore, they should not neglect the fact that the humor of a text can also serve various functions. As trivial as it might sound, translators should take all these factors into account and make use of the approach that best suits the source, text, features, and purpose. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.